What is up, Storm Chasers? Today we have our favorite recurring guest. She needs no introduction. Dr. Linda, first off, how are you feeling? How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay today. You know, it's been a bumpy 6 weeks of a new year, as we all know. And I believe last time we spoke, we had just gone through the fires. I think we talked about the fires at one point because LA caught fire.
Literally.
But yeah, and then I had a birthday, and then my father fell and broke his hip and broke his wrist. And I want to tell all your listeners and viewers what a friend. Yes, he's my friend, people. I may be able to be his grandmother. That's our joke. But Storm has walked me through a lot of this trauma with my family and would be on the phone or call to see how he is or how I'm doing because it's nerve-wracking. At one moment, we thought we're going to lose my dad. And then this week, he decided to stand up with his physical therapist and fight. I'm like, you know, it's a wild ride because one moment you think that's it. You say goodbye. There's no talk. He just looks, and then next day he's up. It's weird. We think transitioning is part of this, and he could still go, or he's out of the transitioning phase of what we thought, and he's not going to die, and he's going to live a few more years. He's 95. It's very difficult emotionally to watch and listen to. But then all the emotions come up from childhood and what you did wrong and right as a person, you know, like as a son, you probably evaluate, did I do this with my mom? Did I do that with my dad? It's normal behavior. It's normal inner chatter. But I want to thank you because there are times during the day you'd pop up or call in the evening or you see your dad or how you feeling. Because it's not just about my dad. It's also how am I experiencing. It's hard. It's scary.
It's not an easy thing, especially when you don't have control of the situation, and we
There's
just
no
leave that
control.
at that.
It's yep. Even one doctor said, I said, is this dementia? Is this transitioning? And the doctor even shrugged his shoulders, said, "This one's up to God. They don't know.
They never
You
say
don't.
that.
No, MDs do not.
They do
Doctors
not
stay
do
out
that.
of that. No,
Yeah.
that's when I knew. Yeah, this one is a different case.
Yeah.
Other than that, you know, everything's in sync with the universe, right? Just like
we're in sync with each other, apparently.
you know, we didn't talk about anything other than what time do you want to sign on? Not what are you going to wear? What colors should we do? I signed out a few minutes, then I was looking at another page and I hear Storm's voice. Hi, you there? And I open the screen and he's got a gray cap. I got a gray and black sweater. He's got the black shirt. Again, synchronicity. Okay. And when you are in that kind of alignment with somebody, you know the connection is real, even though it may not be a conscious, what's she going to wear? Should I do? You don't try to figure it out. It just happens. Is it odd or is it God, you know? And I used to do that with one of my boyfriends. I'd go to school or I'd go to his office and I'd be wearing blue or something, and he'd be wearing the same shade blue or something. Or if when you least expect it, keep your eyes open. That's how you see what's going on out there. Because so many of us are so concerned about that selfie, you know, you miss what's going on.
You miss real life. Now you know what's crazy too. Maybe you don't know because I'm a little colorblind a little bit. So
do you know what color your hat is?
I thought it was red. I thought this was my red.
You are very colorblind. It's gray like my sweater. Do you see gray or red? What do you see, red or black?
Okay, so I see gray there, but I thought this was my red. Like this looks reddish to me.
What'd you do last night?
No, I've always been like that. My mom always gets on me. That's why people always say like, why do you always just wear the same color? Because I can't put colors together. I don't see them well. So,
but men statistically are more colorblind than women. And there are those special glasses. Forgive me, I don't know the name of it, but you can buy them, and it cuts out what's missing in your in the cornea and the retina, so that when you put the glasses on, you will see color.
Oh.
Yeah, there's commercials. If you look online, we could Google it, but there's a special kind of glass, especially for colorblind. And I have watched these shows where people have never seen anything but a brown and white tree or a gray and white car, or a gray and white person, or a gray and white sky. Then as a gift, they get these glasses and there's balloons of color. They can identify the color. There you go. You should get a pair for yourself and see if it changes your actual experience of life. You
know
might
what?
have a block of a certain couple of colors that this would enhance, Storm. And this is non-scripted, people. We just open up and start.
Yeah. Because she didn't know. I've never told her. I've never told her. Because even
No.
when you said, you have your gray hat on, I was like, I thought I grabbed my red hat.
Okay, but look into those glasses as to what category would be right for you. Order a pair, especially since you're going on this journey. I know there's roosters involved, but
Yeah, let's talk about that too. Like Chinese astrology. I follow this guy named Gary. Shout out to Gary if he ever sees this. He's like $3,000 an hour to talk to. So,
whoa.
yeah. But he goes to all the celebrities and blah blah blah. You know how that goes. So, anyway, no, but he recommends like following your Chinese astrology as well. So, like for example, I'm born in 93. That's a rooster year. I'm a water rooster. So he would say, okay, live in a rooster country or a rooster city, or even like the car. Okay, what year was the car made? Is that a rooster year, or is it? He gets into all of that stuff that I never heard of, but.
So it all aligns with your personality, and who you are spiritually and emotionally and mentally, and where you are grounded wise, and what city to live in. Yeah. Because a lot of times we don't get along with certain people or certain countries or cities you go to, and you don't feel good in that town. Go on, that's great.
And you're like, why? Like, why don't I like him or her? Why do I hate the city? It could be something with. It's all energy. Would you agree?
I agree.
Yeah.
It's all energy, but it's scientific as well, because astrology, whether it's Nordic or if it's Vedic or whatever, and Chinese, it's scientific because it's mathematical. It depends on where the planets are at the time you were born. And like you're born in 93 and I'm born in 54, but I'm born in the year of the horse. So horses and roosters, there is a compatibility as long as I don't step on you. But maybe I'll eat you. I don't know what the horses do to the chickens and roosters. But
no, you have to look out for, apparently, in Chinese astrology.
Snakes.
Are those snakes?
That's the year we're in right now. The year of the snake.
The year of the snake. So they're going to thrive, but you have to watch. Apparently, they are the ones you have to watch out for.
I got rid of a few snakes this year so far. Yeah, cleaning house, and it's like I deleted probably 1,000 emails that, I'll look at it later. So I send myself an email. And I'm like, this is all crap. I don't need it. And delete this. I'm not going to cook that. I don't need the recipe. I don't need this. After a while, I realized that's another obsession. But it may also have to do with my personality as a horse, where I just want to organize things. And you as a rooster, what are some of the characteristics that a rooster does besides wake up early and do
Here, I'll pull it up
around.
actually. Here, I'll pull it up actually. I think this would be fun to do. Okay, rooster, Chinese astrology. Okay. And all right, let me do. I love these impromptu things as well.
Yeah.
Okay, the 10th animal in the 12-year cycle zodiac. Confident, hardworking, organized, loyal, honest.
Yes.
Which
is also Taurus. They just didn't put bullheaded and stubborn.
That's a good point, because I can't even lie to myself. Hard work, punctuality, timekeeping, being alert, perseverance. I definitely have perseverance, I would say.
Yes, you do.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. Other roosters: Jennifer Aniston, Matthew McConaughey, Britney Spears, Jessica Alba.
What does it say about the horse?
Okay.
Let's see how it changes, because if you're a rooster, well, don't they have a little bit up there as to who you're most compatible with? Like the rat. Wouldn't you get along better with a rat than a horse?
No, I'm most compatible with ox, snake, and dragon.
Really?
Okay, now let's see. Horse, Chinese astrology.
Yeah.
Description.
Horse has a good sense of direction.
I could see that. All right. Let's see. There we go. Okay. It says you're energetic, independent, and social. Intelligent, adaptable, and quick-witted.
Oh, yeah. I have a quick mouth. We know that, depending on what it is.
It says impulsive or impatient.
These are my faults, yeah.
Self-centered,
I can be, yep.
Overconfident. Is there a such thing as overconfidence, though?
don't know. I'm certainly not overconfident in a lot of areas of my life. In certain areas, like my work, or if I'm an employer, I'm overconfident because I know it needs to be done. But am I overconfident? Like I was at a big music event last night. My friend's son was introduced to the industry with his new record that's coming out. And I didn't feel overly confident at all. I was with 300 people. Some people recognized me from an event a couple of years ago with the family, or they knew of me. But did I feel like I owned the place, like I was better than them? No, I just got some cheese and fruit and hung out and watched the fashion show, listened to some music, said hello, goodbye, and I left. I can't say I'm overconfident. I think for me, overconfidence is almost too much ego, edging God out. I'm more humble that way. I have times, like everybody, where I think we're better than thou, or we can insult somebody because we want to feel more confident to the lower, or one that doesn't understand. I think we all have that bullying, abusive knack.
We can all go there. Yeah.
Put someone down at times. Yeah. But for the most part, am I overly confident? No. As a Capricorn, Capricorns are very insecure to begin with.
Oh, really? Okay.
We are insecure to begin with. What are you wearing? Should I wear this? Do I look okay? Even though on the outside, like the horse, the goat, which is Capricorn, you're the Taurus, which is the bull. So Capricorn and Taurus and Virgo, the three earth signs, are always very compatible. But inwardly, yes, there's stubborn. Yes, there's brilliance. Yes, there's intellect. Yes, there's creativity. You're more stubborn than me, and I have a stubborn streak, but I've also got a Taurus moon, which also gets in alignment with your Taurus sun and my Capricorn. There's so many different ways to put the planets together as far as characteristics and personality, which varies from the Chinese astrology because they go by the 12 different years, and every, whether it's the rat, the bull, or the ox, the horse, the monkey, the snake. It's different. But when you pair the different characteristics, a lot of them integrate. They all kind of say the same thing for when you were born. So you're going to be traveling to a rooster environment soon.
Yeah, I know.
Of all places. You didn't know it was a rooster country.
I didn't know, and I didn't do it on purpose. And the crazy thing is, like when I lived in Georgia, that's a rooster place. So it's funny how my money was best in there versus here. But so hopefully my money gets better there.
Oh,
so,
it certainly will. It certainly will. It certainly will. But, that's all coincidence. Like, we're talking synchronicity. So last year, I got nominated for what I ended up winning for what's called the Fortuna in Dubai. Out of 880,000 nominations, I was one of 194 winners.
Okay.
But that was kind of coincidental and kind of synchronized. And is it going to happen? And Storm and I would talk on and off the air. I don't know if this is going to happen. They're going to, accept me. I got chosen. Okay, now I'm going to Mumbai, India for 3 weeks. Okay. And you're going to be a part of that little journey with me as well. But what's in common? What's the synchronicity? How did this happen? I don't know. I just showed up. I deleted these people's emails 4 or 5 times before I finally said, okay. I took a chance. You took a chance. I don't know how or why it's working the way it is any more than why out of the blue was I going to go to Dubai, which I'd never even thought of except I'd see pictures. And then along the way you said to me, I think I want to go to this country and I want to do this. And you start talking, and months later you've made the arrangements. You're flying out on a certain date. Now, in the last month, you find out it's a rooster country. What was the draw? Was it part of your rooster thing on radar? Is it all in sync? Is it all part of fate? Is it all part of a plan?
Because I didn't try to do that. I really
No,
did.
you did not. Any more than you and me trying to wear black and gray today.
But you know what's crazy? When it's like when I try to do things, the shit doesn't work. When I just go with how I feel, it just falls into place. It's weird, right? Because
if we manipulate, like I've been banging on the door for this one company for my radio show for the last 8 months, and every other month we talk and the guy's ready to go, then I don't hear from him. I'm like, what's going on? So I'm going in a different direction again. And it's like, let go, let God. That's what it means. Just let it happen. And again, there's that saying, God steers, he does not row. You got to do the work. He'll guide you, but you still got to row the boat to do something. You can't just sit there and let it happen.
That's true too. You're right.
We have to participate, but sometimes we learn, nope, that wall, that door won't open. This one's a straight line. You've had no problems making your plane reservations, Airbnb reservations, looking at some of the beautiful sites around there. I'm purposely not saying, because I don't know what you've told your viewers, but I know where you're going.
No, it's all been smooth sailing.
Yeah, because it's meant to be. Just like all the problems, I went to Dubai during a retrograde and I told them, oh my God, it's going to be a retrograde. They said, no, we got 100 this and that. They didn't understand the concept. But even my first night, the hotel did not have a copy of my reservation. They put me in another room and the shower head didn't work and then the safe didn't lock. And I had all these complications. I wasn't even there 10 hours. And I walked out of my room and I was actually on the Queen Elizabeth II in Dubai, which is a floating ship that's been docked.
So fancy.
It was very fancy, beautiful. And I opened the door and this man says, hi, is everything okay? I said, no, it's not. Now this is jet lag after not sleeping for 2 days.
Yeah, I would have been very cranky. Yes.
He said, what's wrong? So I said, they didn't find my reservation. The shower, I already had housekeeping. Blah, blah, blah. I said, you work here? I'm the general manager. I got upgraded to a suite. A huge suite. I got upgraded. I mean, I was treated like a queen, but it was being at the right place at the right time. Why would I walk out at that very moment and there's the general manager? That's the synchronicity. Last night at this event, I'm watching people and there's this one person that was kind of goofy looking, but that's her style of fashion. And I thought, I wonder if that's so-and-so, but I didn't say anything. But then I decided I wanted to leave a little early before the show ended. I got in the elevator and she's in the elevator doing her vlog thing. And I thought, oh my God, I said, Patty. And she looked at me and we start talking and it's been a couple of years. And she used to come to my parties where she knew whose son was on stage and knew the father. Why at that moment did things happen? Is it odd or is it God? That's the synchronicity that Dr. Carl Jung, who was one of the first psychiatrists who studied under Freud, coined the term synchronicity when in India, on a train, watched the dolphins jump and sink out of the water. Why did they do that? That's where all this started in our generation to come from the last 125 years.
Yeah. I even think sometimes, by the way, that kind of stuff, me and you can talk about that all day. I love that kind of stuff. Might be my true calling. Who knows? Maybe I'm not meant to be, a smut peddler, right? I'm kidding.
Well, it's paid the bills for now.
It pays the bills. But I always wonder, like, how you can think about someone, then they call you.
Because you're connecting and that's energy sometimes. So that'll happen. Like I'll think about my sister and my dad because of what we're going through. And all of a sudden she's calling. Or I'll think about my webmaster knowing I have a meeting in an hour, but then he texts saying, can we move it? And I'll get angry at first because it jolts my plan. But then I open the door and I move things around, but I get overwhelmed quickly. Like, hey, that's not the way I planned it. But then it worked out even better, right? And you might want to check out with my new website, lindasalvin.com, how it's all been improved.
Very pretty. Very pretty.
What they added, especially with the Fortuna and everything, it's pretty cool. I'm very pleased. If anybody needs a good webmaster, please. I've been through enough to tell you which ones not to go to. But he did a very great job. His name is Mark, and I will give you his information if you want to contact me. And he did a job on a complex site that most people couldn't figure out. But he did. It came through. But that's where you finally trip, and all of a sudden you find the right one that lasts. Why is that? Because it's the synchronicity or the control. In 2020, you found me in a synchronized manner. Think about it. For those that don't know the story, when you were just a boy. 5 years ago. When you're in your 20s.
I found the infomercial that has like 400,000 views on YouTube. And I remember thinking, I said, I wonder if this lady is still alive. You're very alive. You're here.
Yeah.
So then I looked you up and then I found your office, came up on Google, right? And then I said, I want to call her. And I went to your website, did the thing. No, I put in an inquiry. Then you called me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably put in, and I called you back, or you paid for it, because usually people prepaid, pre-book, or you send an email, hi, I'd like to do da
Yeah,
da
because
da.
I did a reading. I
It
did it the
usually
correct
works.
way. I don't do like you other people do. I did it the correct
Yes,
way.
you did. Yes, you did. Yeah, you did. A lot of people come to me. I really need an appointment today or tomorrow, and this and that. I said, well, just go online and pay. As soon as I ask for money, they disappear.
They disappear.
All of a sudden, the website won't work. It's like the website works. All of a sudden, this guy that's been after me for since last summer, wouldn't you know it, as soon as he needed an appointment, he couldn't get online. Then the next day, he broke his foot. He lost his job, and his car doesn't work. I'm like, really? All in 24 hours? That's a lot of weird stuff.
I might not want to talk to you at that point.
Yeah, right. It's like, I hope you feel well. It's like, next, these people. You think I don't know after 34 years of this stuff how that works? Exactly. But no, you did it. And what's beautiful is Storm also ordered my Wicks of Wisdom. Yes, people, for those of you that don't know me, I am a psychic, and I'm known around the world. And I'm glad to admit I was one of 194 people that won this gorgeous award in Dubai. And I'm going to Mumbai as a keynote speaker and more, which I'll discuss later. But I am a psychic, and I became psychic 44 years ago in a commercial airline plane crash. Granted, there's a lot of plane crashes lately, which I don't understand what's happening out there in aviation, and it has nothing to do with politics. There's the same amount of control tower people now as there were during COVID. They never restaffed. I found out from a friend whose brother's a pilot, so I'm learning the back end stuff. But I became psychic after having an out-of-body experience in a plane crash. And through that time, I opened up psychically, got into radio before the internet. And I started a candle magic line called Wicks of Wisdom when I was trained in candle magic. Storm called and had a reading. I kind of told them a little bit about my background in broadcasting. I said, well, if you do this with your show, this might help your show grow a little more. And it was within months, you went up another 150,000 viewers, likes, whatever they're called, on your YouTube channel. You grew because you shifted some of what I suggested to bring it into a better balanced context for you. You're not jumping on the table anymore.
I talked to you in March, and I went viral in September.
Yeah, in less than 6 months. But you also did the Good Luck Power and the Money and Success Power candles. I said to Storm, let me know how you do after the candles. I say that to everybody. I want to know that they work. If they didn't work, you might need a different formula or a different petition. Because people, what it is, you get candles, 4 bottles of essential oil. I don't tell you what they are. Each color represents a different property. And then there's herbs. And there's powders. And then you get what's called a petition. And then Storm called for his petition for work in the money and success, and also remove blocks, obstacles, and negativity that were blocking him from achieving that next goal with his channel and his work. I never heard back from him. And then all of a sudden I started getting orders from you guys on the channel. I said, what'd you hear about me? Oh, Storm Monroe. I said, what? So I went and looked him up, because I don't listen to everybody online. It's impossible. And I heard that show and I thought, oh my God, most of what you were saying was right. Then I had to call you and say, I just found out, blah, 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 but you got to edit this because certain people could sue you and me for misrepresenting certain statements. So we edited it and cleaned it up before he understood doing what he does best, just researching and talking and promoting something. But because it worked, Storm put it out there. And because of the successes, a lot of you came to me, and I'm very grateful for that. And again, if you see this show and you're interested in candle magic, it's not voodoo. But voodoo actually means healing, but people think it's negative.
People don't know. It's,
Listen,
they're afraid of your candle, but then they follow a straw. I had to get on them about this. Because, especially the devout Christians, where Christians.
Oh, I get it all the time. No, my rabbi says this is okay, but the Christian.
But I asked him this.
Say no.
I go, what's your zodiac? Oh, blah, 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 blah. I said,
that's okay. It is, but they can't know astrology and candle magic for some reason, or a psychic. A psychic is a fortune teller. No, I'm not a fortune teller. And some 18-year-old kid last night who was the son of this woman who I met at the event a few years ago when George died, and I was I gave the eulogy at this man's funeral, and they recognized me. And he says, "Oh, are you the tarot reader? Are you this? Are you the fortune teller?" I said, "Not quite. I am a psychic, but I'm more of a metaphysician." And I gave him my card. He goes, "Well, I want to know my future." I said, "You can contact me during the week." "Well, I'm graduating high school." I said, "I think that's great. You got to blah, blah, blah." I said, "But this isn't the place to do that." It's like, people don't hit me up in the middle of a thing that I got to fix you right then and there. I don't just read a card. I don't just tell you what I see in 5 minutes. I take 30, 40, 60 minutes. I go deep. I give you experience that I've had. I give you psychic information. I give you spiritual concepts. I give you ideas to implement, like I did with the storm the very first time 5 years ago. Why don't you do this on the show and try this and watch what happens? And in less than 6 months, or in just under 6 months, you exploded.
Yep, had my first viral video. Yep.
And then you got that plaque from YouTube, and they started acknowledging you more. It opened doors. That's what the candles would do. There was that one girl that ordered from Florida, and she got mad at me because she didn't get a TV show like the Kardashians had on one set of candles. And I'm like, well, it doesn't quite work like that, That's not the way it's going to work.
If it worked like that, the candles would cost $1 million a piece.
Yeah. I may have to raise the price a little because I got to pay more to buy the raw materials. Shipping's gone up, but it's just what I can't keep giving it away. I got to start profiting too. It is still a business, but yeah, I could probably charge $3,000 an hour. I probably am worth it to certain people, but the average customer of mine, it's not going to happen. Yeah. But I'm not soliciting all of the celebs either. I'm not out there doing that. And you get what you pay for anyway. If you want the information, it's here. It's here. You were hungry, you were confused, you were questioning, and you were at a fork in the road. I could hear your passion. I could understand the frustration. I could understand the building. I marketed myself for over 25 years on radio. You don't just get on the air and think you have a show or a talent. It doesn't work that way.
Listen, how many people have tried it and failed?
And it failed. YouTube. Everybody's a podcaster today. Everybody can do whatever they want, but
they don't last long.
They don't last long, or it's disgusting, or they don't hold their interest, or they're so full of schmutz and garbage that's what draws, because that's the mentality of a lot of people. You got millions of people listening to garbage and lies and BS, and it happened between Storm and me. There's a few out there if you really want to be entertained. There's some crazy non-factual shows. People think they know us. Yeah. But no, Storm found me like you guys find Storm, or you find me. I am off the air right now. I haven't gotten into the YouTube thing, but I do have 220 shows up there. You can go listen to on health, wellness, addiction, candle magic testimonies. Last year, there were 2 different women at 2 different times that I actually brought together in one show. They both used the candles, and neither one of them had to go to jail for 20 years when they were up facing 20-year sentences. There's some real stuff happening.
That right there alone.
Even their lawyers couldn't figure out what happened, and they testify. It's all at the Linda Salvin channel. But I help people, and I can be nasty, and you call me a bitch, because sometimes you don't realize how you're yelling and screaming at me with your negative entities. And I'm going to talk about this for a moment. Entities do attach to us. You can't see them. I can hear it in a voice because I'm trained and doing this for so long. I can feel the imbalance or whatever. Well, I'm not contagious. I don't have entities. I did it. I said, you may not see it, but I hear it in your voice. I can feel it. I'm being told. And then all of a sudden I'm wacko. And then they come back, or they go to another healer, or they apologize, or they find out that I was right. I'm so used to it, but don't attack the messenger. My response to you a lot of the times is a mirror on how your voice or your intention is coming across the phone. Yep. Don't be afraid. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm going to cleanse, heal, redirect like a flashlight on the path. Let me just say, there's a boulder. You don't want to trip over that rock, right? Go this way. Just like Storm said, if he doesn't force it, it starts to happen. Yep. I'm going to bust your anonymity, but we've talked about it. there was a point last year that Storm was going to accompany me to Dubai. And towards the end, it didn't feel right for what I was going to be doing as a keynote and what was happening to me with this award and some of the people I was going to be meeting. And it turned out it wasn't going to be in either of our best interests to have him come to Dubai. But before we changed plans, I said, you're going to be meeting somebody over there and you're going to be falling in love and you're going to be getting married. This is how the universe works. He's still going overseas.
Mm-hmm.
You're still going to be in a similar environment of that part of the world. And I still see marriage, even more so than ever. But now it's not just Dr. Linda making a prediction. How many other people are telling?
Yep.
And what are they saying? What are they saying?
Okay.
Oh, you're blushing. Now you're blushing.
Yeah, I have another friend. He's spiritual as well, just a different type. So yeah, he said something similar. And then I had two other friends who just assumed it because I was reposting about the place and they go, "Oh, are you getting married?" I never said I was getting married. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but we can all see it here.
Yeah, then the other one, "Oh, you're getting married, right? To whom?" Because I never said that. To whom? So
well, I can describe her. I've been describing her for a couple,
so 1, 2, 3,
about
4.
9 months. 4 of us from
Yeah.
different times of your life in the last couple of months since you started talking about this amazing trip that you're taking. Storm will be married.
You're getting married, right? To whom?
I don't know her name, but I can describe her. About 5'5", beautiful black hair, gorgeous eyes, works. I'm not going to say she's model thin and super voluptuous, and I'm not going to say she's overweight and voluptuous. I'm going to say she's going to be your type. Even though people think you have a type, you don't have a type, but we think we know your type, and it's not going to be what we think your type is. You're going to just be happy.
And that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
You're
and I'm not even looking for
You're going to be in love, Mr. Storm Monroe.
Well, you know what? When I am, I will let the world know. How about that?
Well, yeah, you better let me know first or second. No, you tell your mother first, and I'm next in line since I'm your grandmother.
Yeah. Everybody's on pins and needles because I've never acted like that. So it's
nope. Trust me, he's getting married. Not the first year. No, get settled. You get your thing going. Go check it all out.
Okay.
But you're going to come in. I get within a year. I'm going to say when you're leaving in March, April, probably by April of next year, if not sooner.
Okay. Here's the thing.
What's the thing?
It's going to shock people because with people, I just kind of like touch and go. I just whatever, I don't really get attached. So you're telling me I'm going to get attached to this person?
Yeah, and then there's going to be this thing called a ring. This is jade. But I think what you're going to do to her is going to be
This is comedy, Linda. I don't get attached to anybody.
Oh, you will. And then there's going to be baby storms walking around.
Jesus
Christ. Couple.
Yeah, and the other friend predicted that too.
Oh,
and it's
really?
messing me up because the timeline is adding up and I don't like that.
Oh, said the same thing kind of like me? We didn't talk. This is not scripted. We didn't talk in advance, people. Yeah. Let's talk about synchronicity of the planets and whatnot, and roosters and snakes and horses, but we just pop up and here we go.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to always plug my Wicks of Wisdom and my psychic because he found me because of the Kardashians, who he's not even into anymore, and they're not as big as they used to be. And I worked with both of them, but I paid Chris $25,000 to host the infomercial you can see on YouTube that talked about the candles, and they ripped me off, blah, 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 but they work. And Storm is one of my testimonials, not just who became my friend, but he testifies to how it helped him. And when she shows up, I will gift you the soulmate. I will even make it a little more intense. You're not going to need it.
It's so crazy that these timelines are adding up.
I'm getting chills. Chills is confirmation of spirit, little goosebumps. Right. That's because of spirit.
Yeah, he's like, he was like, your first child will be here 2029. I said, I don't want children.
You didn't want to get married either.
Yeah, right. So I'm just like, how's this going? This is going to have to be a very special person.
Oh
But you know,
yeah, the one that's just it's called your soulmate, dude.
yeah, I don't even believe in those. Once again, so we have
Do
a
you know,
lot of.
I know how many women this man's kind of been through in the last couple of years. Been through, yeah, it pops in and out literally. Does the
But yeah,
wild things, but
but yeah,
no, this is
yeah,
going
he
to be
knows she had
called
first baby.
love. This is
He's like,
love.
he's like first baby 2029, then 2031, and you're consider again in 2033, which you probably won't. I'm just like, what? I'm like, okay.
So by 2026, 2027, you guys are getting together, and then you have a few years by yourself, and then all of a sudden you conceive and you're a family man. Makes sense to me.
I just don't see myself as that.
Of course not. Most of it, do you think I grew up seeing myself as a metaphysician or a famous talk show host at one point? Because I'm not on the radio now, but I was for 25 years.
You were, yeah.
AM, FM, pre-internet, which was 96. I was on in 94. Then, podcast came out in 07, and I just didn't want to be part of the digital wheel. And I just touch upon it. It's there. I have Dr. Linda Radio. If you want to hear my old shows, they stream 24 hours a day at drlindaradio.com, at lindasalvin.com. Yes, I'm promoting myself today. But Storm promotes himself every day. And that's what today's world is. We're online. Now, my father, talking about my dad, and when we were growing up, we were talking about this before the show. Our grandparents, my parents were born, my dad was 29, my mom was born in 1930. They had radio, no TV.
Okay.
You were talking about your grandmother had the big console, like 3,000 pounds of a TV, and it was like a big cabinet that sat on the floor.
Yep.
And I remember in high school, it was either 1968 or 69, I can't remember, but my dad brought home the first RCA color TV. And we got to watch TV in color. Now, you and I are talking about blacks and grays and whatever color you think your hat is. People, that's not a red hat. But this is red. This is red. This is red. Look at the difference. Oh, I can't. Screens don't. This is red. What color is this flashlight?
What does it look like? Purplish.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
No, it is fire engine red. You're going to get those glasses, and we'll do another show to follow that. No, we will. We'll edit and we'll put it together, and you'll see the difference. And I'll hold up the flashlight. This is in case there's a war or something, and it's solar and all that. A friend of mine told me to buy in case LA blows up. But talking about our grandparents or our parents or the evolution of technology. And when my dad was in business, he's now 95 years old, but in his day, he was at the forefront of the digital world before digital. They made printed circuit board. They made the artwork for printed circuit boards that electrical engineers and draftsmen would use to create printed circuit boards that became the electronics for like the first flight to the moon and the rocket. But Steve Jobs, who created Apple, was a customer of my father's with a dream. They were going to build computers, as was Gates up in Washington. These guys were here in California, but they bought from my father. So my father's customer then was Steve Jobs building Apple. And my dad once said, Linda, I said, what? He goes, way of the future's computers. And we're okay. I didn't, whatever that meant. 50 years later, we're doing a show. You can be in another country. You can be on the phone. We can see in FaceTime. We can record. We upload with this, with that. Everything's digital. Banking's going digital. The cash is disappearing. Our whole world is going.
Has changed. It really has changed.
It's evolving. Think about the console that your grandparents had for a TV versus now you can watch a show on your phone. Or you can put your earbuds in and take the dog for a walk and listen to it.
And there's great things with technology, but then the bad is that people's social skills suck. People's
socialization has gone down. We have desensitized. We've become angrier. I think we're being brainwashed.
More depressed.
There's more depression because I think the radiation and a lot of the look how great I am online, that everybody compares, well, she's prettier, she's got better lips, or this one had to have the lips done, and this one had the boobs enlarged, this one had the boobs taken out, this one's got a wig, this one, This one's got the right hair color. This one. I mean, after a while, we're all comparing. What about the little girl that was bullied this week because some kids at school were threatening her family being deported because she wasn't they didn't have papers and that they were illegal, so she committed suicide at age 11 or 14.
Wow.
Because of the bullying online and at school. How many kids have we learned over the years from Instagram bullying have actually committed suicide because they were bullied to commit suicide? Now, there is a huge epidemic of bullying, mental illness, horrible attacks. I have a mouth on me. If I want to cut you up to shreds, you know damn well I know how to do it when it hits. But most of the time, I'll be complimentary, or most of the time, I'll be there with you. But I was bullied as a kid. Most of us have experienced bullying, but to go online and to really cut someone up because of their heritage, their color, their religion, their beliefs. I don't want to get into the politics. I don't want to get into color. Yes, I took my Star David off when I went to Dubai because I didn't know what to expect. And everybody was lovely. But I wanted to protect myself. I am a Jew. I wouldn't go to Israel right now and what's going on over there. But even that's sad. I mean, like, why do you find 8-month-old babies that were taken into custody? It's not a Zionist, didn't have a political opinion. It was an infant. That's where you hear about the craziness. And half of these people were probably brainwashed by something online with a technological course or something. Who knows what people do? I think technology has ruined a lot of life because we're so dependent. Just like the girl that got in the elevator last. I recognized her, but she was doing another part of her daily show.
Was she present? She really wasn't present.
No, because she literally, when I said her name, she was jolted that I recognized her.
Yep.
And then she couldn't recognize me because I've changed. I've lost weight and my hair is different. I've evolved again. But until we got to the moment, oh my God, hi, how are you? I did this, I would do that. She did this. Now I traveled. We'll talk. Okay. But it's technology. And in the 90s, when the cell phones came out, and I was on cable radio back then, and there was a man who does, 30 years of Hawaiian music. He's #1 in the world with Hawaiian on his own. Aloha Joe, put out there, alohajoe.com. He's been doing Hawaiian music for over 30 years. And he was the first one to bring to my attention that he and his wife took the kids to Disneyland in the 90s, said something's wrong because all these people are just on their phone. They're not even looking at the rides or the beautiful architecture and the colors of what Disneyland represents, the fantasy of it all. He said everybody was on a phone. And that was when it was just starting. That was even before the iPhone came out with all the digital stuff. That was just the phone, the cell phone. So it's the evolution. You're right. We don't get together as often. We don't socialize like we used to. How many people of your generation, well, a little younger rather, during lockdown, graduation was online or through a car, or you had to wave hello for a birthday or a drive-by, or the poor people who were hospitalized, you couldn't go see your loved one before they died. Now, as we said back then, which we weren't allowed to talk about, a lot of it may not have been as real as they made us believe, and now the truth is being revealed, and we're not going to go there now, but you can Google whatever you want.
Yep.
The truth is always going to come out. But how do we heal from the trauma or the isolation or the mental diseases or the depressions or the anxieties, or how many people gained a ton of weight, the 20 pounds, 30 pounds while eating during lockdown? And how do you start losing weight again? Or how do you start to get motivated? That's what I do for a living, people. I am a metaphysician, which is a combination of spirituality and psychology. But I took science and spirituality and blended it, which is why I won this award, because my background's public health. I became psychic and spiritual through 3 near-death experiences, and I'm here to help you. Like Storm came to me for help, and we just evolved because of whatever we've got going for 5 years. You can have long-term relationships. He pops into town. We go out to lunch or dinner, whatever, you know. You can develop friendships that are deeper than just, hey, hi, oh, it's a cool shirt, see ya. And I have a lot of those, you know.
Those are, I call those associates.
Yeah, if they're even in that circle.
Acquaintances,
Acquaintances, hi, I know you, but I don't want to talk to you, one. But technology sometimes is too much to keep up with. AI, you and I have been talking about the AI movement. It started 2 years ago, but now it's becoming more and more rampant and popular. And everybody's got an app, and everybody's got a training, and everybody's got this, and everybody's doing AI. But don't forget, here in Los Angeles, SAG, which is the Screen Actors Guild, went on strike, and as did the Writers Guild, because they had to incorporate in the bylaws. Is it AI? Is it an image of Linda or Storm? Did Linda really write that script? Did Storm write that script, or is this AI? So they don't know sometimes what's human versus AI now. We can look like the actor, or they can take my image or your image. Some producer out there can be watching this show, and we freeze the frame right here. So I'm looking in my eyes, and you're looking in, and then all of a sudden there's an image of us, but we didn't get a contract. We're not being paid. We're not being asked, but they can steal it. So that had to go into the new laws. This is how you earn from the union, right? Now, you did sign up with a company which you introduced to me, and I signed up that if they want to take some of our content and use it as tools, fine. But we're under contract.
They have to pay us. And the word she used was, we're trying to do it the ethical way because we've been doing it anyway, illegally.
And now they know
unethically. She didn't say illegally, unethically.
Correct, because most people do.
And even YouTube does. They had a little bitty blurb, Linda. It was this big, that big, and I read it, right. And it goes, some of your content may or may not be used for future AI, blah 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 blah. Learn more or dismiss. We don't have a choice. But they told us so you can't sue. But Linda, it was this.
Just a little disclaimer, just to say whatever. Now, that's interesting because you and I have talked to AJ Mata, and you did a show on Legal Shield, which you're promoting and I'm promoting. And on people, you want to get behind this with Storm Monroe. You definitely want to contact Storm offline here and get involved with Legal Shield, because everything has a legal purpose today. I have known this man, AJ, since 2010. He's with Gnostic TV. I just signed up with his network. He's wanted me there for 2 years. I said, no. And I finally said, okay. But he's a big promoter of legal services called Legal Shield. And I signed up. I said, Storm, sign up. And Storm has had a few instances where he's had to use the services. And now I have 3 different problems that I'm going to be using this. I spend $180 a month, as opposed to $500 to $800 an hour. I now can go to somebody because I paid in advance for some digital marketing that would have included SEO, YouTube Reels. There were like 8 categories, but only 1/2 of one category got done in a year. So I want my money back. They won't give me the money back. They said they don't have the money because they work on such a low budget. I said, but there's no disclaimer on the contract I signed. There's nothing that says I can't get a refund. I'm not asking for a full refund because I did do some work, but they've dropped the ball. What they don't know is I'm going to contact somebody who's going to write them a letter, because legally, on a piece of paper, unless, like you just said, the YouTube or the contract you and I signed, if there's no disclaimer at the bottom somewhere that says, here's the rule if it's, legal fees or no refund or whatever, I'm okay, because I can prove one man sent me this itemized list of things he was going to do. Didn't do it. So I fired him. And I changed my password on this one site. I asked Storm, I said, I'm locked out. I don't know how to get back in. Digital stuff is, I'm around it, but I don't get all of it. But people, you want to talk to Storm Monroe and you want to sign up for Legal Shield. It could be at work. It could be your landlord. It could be your bank. It could be a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a spouse. It could be something that out of the blue you need help. Well, how can they reach you about Legal Shield? Do you have a link, or do you want them to just email you?
They can actually click the link. It'll be in the live chat of this video when it plays, or they have my email that's in the chat too. And
you and I have promoted DNA nutrition, which I still take, and it has changed my life. If you're interested in DNA nutrition, it feeds the genes of your body that have been inherited from your parents. People, I do health and wellness. Storm stopped taking it. He got into a different product that works for his body. I do a detox thing where you get rid of glyphosates and parasites if you want that. And Storm and I can help you with
Well,
that.
let's still take that too.
Yeah, that's a different product, but it's
Yeah.
got a different blend that makes you feel everybody's different, not one size fits all. But the legal thing, I don't care. If you don't want to do health and wellness, and you don't want to detox your body, and you want to live with the glyphosates and parasites, that's up to you. Legal problems, you never know if you're going to be in an accident or if someone's going to screw you in a contract or if you buy something and it's a lemon. You don't know why you need an attorney.
You're right.
Go to Storm for Legal Shield. Go back in his archives and watch the, what was it, about a 10, 12-minute interview with AJ?
Yeah, about 13. Yeah.
You know, just to get a background of what it's really about, because these people are in the United States and Canada. The company alone does so well. I think they said they paid out over $880 million worth of commissions because so many people are helping each other. And they're all legitimate attorneys in your own zip code.
Yeah, they are. You're right.
So that's a service. It's not just schmutz and what's going on in the entertainment community that Storm does. He does have a heart and soul and he wants to help you. But legal or health and wellness, you want to go to Storm, ask him about detoxing from glyphosates. What is the glyphosate? It's in the bug spray that they put on the plants on the farms to help the plants and agriculture grow, but it's poison to us and it causes heart disease, diabetes, depression, obesity, everything that Kennedy's going to try to change. It's going to take time. You can't just change the crops, but we ingest it in food. We breathe it in the air. It's in our clothing. We don't know what detergents you're using or even dishwasher liquid or what's at the cleaners or what's coming, like that fog we had at Christmas Eve. It's all parasitical. It's not fog.
It definitely made me sick. I started feeling sick when I was there. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. You were here at the holidays and you felt it. I walked into it and I thought it's gooey. And I thought, what weird fog? And then I did the research and it came out.
Because I thought, I said, oh, do I have COVID again? I was
no, you got sick.
It was
sick from the fog. Yeah, they're trying to poison us, whoever they are, however they're going to do it. But people, the supplements Storm and I take help detox this crap that's being fed to us, literally, or sprayed upon us. You have no clue. Let us help you clean your body. Because the longer you live and the healthier you are, the more you're going to have. You know, we all have our moments, I want to die. I can't stand my life will pour me. And 20 minutes later, oh, guess what happened? You know, we all go through the moments.
Yes.
But let us keep it clean. Storm has access to all this for you. And I want you to contact Storm. You want to get rid of the glyphosates. You want to get rid of the parasites. The parasites come out in your poop. It looks like rice. You will see it coming out of your body. They say take it every 2 months. I take it like 3 times a week. I just keep my body clean. It takes about 90 days. Oh, 90 days. I don't have 90 days. Oh, yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
They give you a blender. They give you all the different supplements. If you don't want all the supplements, you just want the glyphosate, which is the biome and the advanced cleanse, that's fine too. You don't have to buy the whole package. But I bought it. I didn't want it. 30 days, nothing. 60 days, nothing. I called Sharon. I said, I don't like this. She goes, keep going. Day 84, I woke up. Something had changed. I was cleaned out. She said, Linda, it's 90 days. Yes, it takes 90 days for the body to recycle all the cells and everything that was going on, but for this product to push out the toxicity. My skin, look at Storm's skin. You can see it in us. We've lost weight. We've toned. One of the products is amino 23, and they call it amino 23 because it only takes 23 minutes to get into your muscles. So it's good to use before and after your workout, and you work out.
And speaking of that, I actually looked up the patent that goes all the way back to 1993, and actually looked at the ingredients in the meat, so it all checks out. Yeah.
No, this is legit. This is very real, true, organic product, but you can see it. You know. I got a wonderful compliment last night by the 18-year-old kid that wanted a reading in the middle of this event. And I said, I've been doing this a long time. I'd give anything to be your age, starting over. I'm 71. His eyes popped out. He goes, what? You're older than my grandmother. I said, yeah, I probably am. But he goes, you don't even look like you're over 50. It was very complimentary.
You don't.
But I take care of myself. if I wasn't detoxing some of the impurities, I would break out a little, or I would be a little more bloated at times if I didn't eat better, or I would, my hair wouldn't be as shiny or as healthy if I didn't have the right nutrients. It's all related. Have what we eat, what we consume. I used to smoke cigarettes. I used to smell like an ashtray. I admit I smoked for 34 years. As a kid growing up, that's what we did. Okay. I've been sober a long time. I don't drink alcohol anymore. Like, for what? You can smell it on people's breath, or they're, if you really watch and you're not drinking and you're in a club or a party, watch those that are drinking and how much they drink and how they start to stamp. Or
You can't be around them. You can't stand to be
all
around
of a sudden you see what you don't want to see, or what you used to be like, right?
Yep.
So to be healthy, you don't have to be sober 100%. You don't have to stop smoking or whatever, but you don't need to be a hard drug addict, and you don't have to be super cool and vape all the time. I mean, you can have moderation, but it's learning how to break that addictive thing. Even scrolling is addictive.
It's
and there
addictive.
are times I have to say, Linda, stop, you're in it again. I've
Yep.
become aware, like, I don't need to see the next post that looked like what I read yesterday, only different words or a different picture. It's the dopamine that created this as a drug addiction. Dopamine, norepinephrine. Who was it in Google? I don't know his name, but one of the top Google execs resigned when he knew, number one, that one of the robots became sentient with feelings, and another one won't let his own kids use apps or the phones because they know the addictive response with the norepinephrine and the dopamine. They know the hit to the brain. I don't know if he retired or if he stepped down, but there's stories out there because they know it's more than just technology helps us do things faster.
It's addiction. It is, and it has its good and its bad. Let's end it there. We did right under an hour, which I like.
Okay. Yeah.
Plenty of content. Tell them once again where they can find you, Dr. Linda.
They can find me at lindasalvin.com, or just type in Dr. Linda Salvin. You'll find me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and my own website. Yep. It's the brand new one that just went up. If you scroll down, you'll see the new awards I'm really proud of, because I just did this achievement page. There you go.
A really nice picture too.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I've been awarded, and I've just been certified as a true intuitive. Yeah, there's some change. Just because you're older doesn't mean you stop, people. There's just more to do. You just keep going.
You just
keep
going.
It's all there. lindasalvin.com. But I want you to go to Storm and sign up for Legal Shield. And I want you to sign up to detox your body, people.
Oh, you were on Face the Truth?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, before they went down. Yeah. Vivica, whatever her name was. Yeah. Back in 19, maybe? 18, 19?
How was Vivica?
Well, we've talked about some self-centered people, right?
Me and you never talked about Vivica, because I did not know you were on Face the Truth.
Oh, yeah.
Never in the juice. I got to know, though.
All right. Well, she never even said hello, except on stage when we were on camera. She did her broadcast thing, but never paid attention to me off stage. No, I was in and out. You think you're going to socialize, whatever. They bring you on with you're accompanied by a co-producer. They give you your chair. They mic you. You sit down. Okay, 3, 2, 1, you're on. I want to introduce Dr. Linda Salvin. We got the panel today, and we're going to ask about blah, blah, blah. And they stage the questions in the audience. So you already know what you're going to be asked. So you have the answer prepared and blah, blah, blah. And then cut. They take off your mic and they say goodbye. There's no interaction with the celebs. God, I did talk to the judge who I sat next to, and I was friendly with her for about, 2 months on Instagram or something. Hi, how are you? Fine. How's the show? Then they got canceled. As you know, all of Dr. Phil's shows, the CBS doesn't exist like that anymore. Those shows are all gone. I knew the producer, which is part of how I got in, or I knew one of the executive producers. I'd been on a couple of their shows.
Okay.
Over at the Dr. Phil loop, but they're not there anymore.
Yeah, now he has a podcast and he's in Texas.
Yeah, he lives in Texas and he produces from home with his staff or whatever. But the CBS lot over at the Paramount Picture lot, all those buildings are vacant. All of the shows are gone. This all went down during the lockdown, during the COVID time. Everything fell apart. Hollywood's not what Hollywood was. It's not, there's still creativity and films being produced, but it's a whole different world. You can sign up and audition online now. You don't have to go to the casting office and go on camera for 17 seconds. And those who are new with your headshots, if you really want to know what they look for, it's not about the pretty face. It helps. I have an advantage if I were to go back to acting because I'm SAG eligible. They'll choose me over somebody who doesn't have any experience. But when you're having pictures done, people, look at my headshot, look at my headshot. I said, none of these are going to work. Why? Because your eyes aren't speaking. They don't care what you're wearing. They don't care what you look like. I mean, don't wear polka dots, but you want to be simple, but it's the right photographer is going to capture the look and the feeling coming out of your eyes, as opposed to just some cameras go click, 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 and you get 300 shots, and you have to maybe find one or two, the angle, the lighting, whatever, and they still don't work because the eyes don't speak. So that's a secret, people. They look at the eyes. I know casting people that used to be casting agents, and I know what they went through. And you go in and hi and say your line, and my name is, it's called slating. Okay, my name is, and my age or my genre, and I'm auditioning for Katie Smith on the blah, blah show. Next. And you're like, one of 500, and then the director finds somebody totally different than what they were looking for.
Yep.
I saw a commercial I actually auditioned for years ago. It was a beer commercial. And they wanted a certain look, and all these people look just like me with the dark hair and 5'5" to 5'8", and not skin. I mean, just normal looking people. When that commercial hit TV, they had used like a grandmother hippie on a motorcycle entertaining her kids. It was the totally different look, and they changed the script, but it was still that beer commercial because I recognized parts of it. And then I took a double look like, what? They changed what they wanted as the character. So you may audition and then they change anyway.
I did a lot of those as a kid. By the way, I hope those audition tapes never make it.
Oh, now we have to go Google and see what's out there.
Jesus, please. But yeah, no, literally, you're in and out. Like it's not.
You don't know what they're looking for, but when they go through the film, they go like this, and all of a sudden, number 453. Play that again. Something caught the director's eye, where the others just go, you're nothing. It's smoke. Then all of a sudden, there's one out of millions that get it. It's not easy.
And yes, people, a lot of them are perverted. I'll never forget. We were this was for a toothpaste. This was a toothpaste commercial, and the girl in front of me was probably 16. And the director, whoever he was just like, "Oh wow, your legs look great." And I'm like, "This is a toothpaste?" I was like 9, 10.
No,
like
you're naive. You didn't know that a lot of it's sex trafficking, or you got to sleep to get to the top. The casting couch, it's real. So is trafficking.
I did my best to become a Disney kid, and it was always like, "Oh well, can you come out to LA, but by yourself?" It was a lot. It was a lot.
And it's real. And that's a whole nother show. If we wanted to get into the trafficking and the underground tunnels and what goes on and who the pedophiles are, that's a whole, let's cut. But, I think you can use this as a mini show because this last part's a whole nother topic. But yeah, there's so much to talk about. It's all real, people. A lot of it is just cameras and lights. But he is getting married.
It's Storm Show. It's a Storm Show.